won our second match. Both teams that have a lot of skill, but haven't hit their potential yet. Will Blue be able to do it against Shield? Here we go, guys. Picks and bans for game number 1.
Okie dokie. Well, there's the Caitlyn against Zephyr. Like I was saying, that is a preferred pick. And also the Kazakhs. Najin White Shield has really been using a lot of top lane Kazakhs recently, and this is 3.8, so it's after the Kazakhs changes, and what you do is you evolve Q first, and you are, I mean, his burst damage on Q is insane, so if you use him as a split-pushing assassin right now, you never evolve W, and you still do the same kind of build of Brutalizer into Tyr and Muramana, but after a certain point, he's kind of like top lane Ryze in that it doesn't matter if you kill him, he's still going to be a huge threat. Now, MVP Blue has been running a lot of top lane Ryze recently, so that's definitely a comfort pick for them right now. And by the way, so far this season, you know, we're only 12 games in, but TF, Jace, and Elise are all at 100% pick ban right now in this tournament.
All those purple side bans, man. And so the first 2 picks coming in for Najin White Shield. Let's see what they go with. Thresh, a good pickup. Not only just in general, but good to keep away from Flom certainly as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing with Najin White Shield and their playstyle recently, and they're going to take away Nunu as well. This is, again, this has been a big focus pickup for MVP Blue in particular recently. So that's not going to be a surprise at all. Najin Shield's playstyle is very interesting at the moment.
Yeah.
They are heavy on lane rotations and like 4-man dives. And actually, Najin Shield will play heavy push champions like Caitlyn and like a Caitlyn Sono lane, but what they'll do is they won't kill the turret. They will just drag out the laning phase and rack up kills in lane and then kind of gain a gold advantage and then use that snowball to like knock down like a ton of turrets all at once. So they've got a rather weird style right now that really...
It seems very reminiscent of how Sword originally played, like way back when.
That's a very good description. They're kind of playing a throwback style to, I guess, like...
Ideally,
I would say
without
like
all the
season
dying
2.
From overdiving, though.
Yes, they rarely die in their dives. But I would say season 2 World Championship era Najin Sword is really a good comparison for them.
Or like early Champions Winter Najin Sword too, which is around the same time.
Yes.
A little bit after the World Championships.
But their dives have been typically much cleaner. Now, they may not run a team comp that will work with that this time around, but we'll have to wait and see. And interestingly, MVP Blue picking up Kennen as well as Ryze, so probably just going to see that mid lane Ryze from EasyHoon this game. And Ezreal as the carry.
Yep. Now we have seen a couple mid Ezreals too, but probably not going to be this game.
All right, Goon gonna lock in that Zed, so they will be going for a certain amount of roam right here.
No way. Well, guys. Oh, well, still support Fiddle. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Fiddle Ezreal is kind of a weird combination, actually.
It is, but it definitely is like a sort of a kill combination too. I mean, it's very mobile, and I mean, you can put a lot of damage on people with Fiddlesticks, and Ezreal can chase them down, theoretically, in lane.
The thing about Fiddle is that he's really weak to hooks, and because he's so squishy in the early game, he can get all in, especially by this high damage lane of Thresh and Twitch very easily. So MVP Blue is going to have to play very careful right off the bat here, because they are going to have some issues moving in otherwise.
Well, Graga's pick would be very interesting for...
It would be a very good pick.
Shield right now, but they may go with the Vlad as well. We'll see. And I would imagine the idea would be top lane Vlad with that one. Or what do you think? Top lane Zed?
We'll see. I would normally say that, but because Save is a former mid laner, he may feel comfortable enough on Zed to play him in top lane.
You know, that's actually an interesting factor of having these mid laners go top and having different people change to go top, is that you do kind of draw some maybe unorthodox picks for Korea. I don't think Zed is an unorthodox top laner, but I think for Korea he is a little bit.
Yeah.
But it looks like it is going to be Zed mid and Vlad top, which is traditionally more common. But
yes, well, we do see a lot of Vlad mid here in Korea.
Yeah, we do. That's one of the strong things about these picks. You don't know where they're going.
Especially from Najin Sword right now. So that's why it wouldn't surprise me at all. Songs, Ghost, Flash, mid lane Vlad has been seeing quite a bit of play time.
We saw a pretty awesome Hemo Plague in our last few matches.
Yeah, Miso running that top lane Vlad and picking up a really sick Hemoplague. So Hemoplague, very good, and they're going for that wombo combo with the Twitch.
Yes, they are.
And plus the Hemoplague magnification, man, that's going to make Deathmark really hurt.
It's going to be fun, guys, in the top lane. Save on Vladimir versus Chunju on Kennen. As we check out our final rosters for game number 1. Down in the jungle, we have Nofe on Nunu. Our first jungle Nunu, I believe, of Champion Summer, versus Chunyang on Lee Sin, who's basically a jungler in every game in Champion Summer.
Right, one of the top, certainly high priority picks here in Korea at all times.
Yeah. Goong, the former StarCraft pro, goes up against EasyHoon on Zed. EasyHoon playing Rise. Should be pretty fun to see. Down at 80 carry, Zephyr playing Twitch up against Deft on Ezreal. Let's see if Deft can rack up those kills against a champ that can get away. And finally, at support, we have Gorilla playing Thresh versus Flom, playing the very popular support Fiddlesticks. It's time, guys. Blue versus Shield, game number 1. Let's get in the game. Oh yeah, my back tattoos look great. I'm getting them removed right after this season, though. I mean, I need to get them changed over for like the next season of Champions.
That's right. You can't have the Hot 6 logo back there forever.
That's right. It's going to be very painful to get it removed, though. But this is what I do for esports, Monte Cristo.
Truly,
I'm not afraid.
You are an inspiration.
That's right.
So hardcore esports.
So
Damn.
hard. So hardcore.
Zephyr.
I mean, you have to believe that Najin Shield, they're really going to be wary of any early game shenanigans. Blue has wild level 1s. They're not afraid to use flash, to go over terrain, to catch you in the bush, and they're very good at predicting your level 1 movements as well. So this team was always one of the biggest dangers in Korea.
Oh, there goes a Vision Ward.
Whoa, Nofe taking a few free hits right there.
Yeah.
And if we look at the positioning right now from MVP Blue, they're trying to control Vision to prevent Nunu from just eating their buffs at level 1. This is the problem. Of course, as many of you know, with
that's a lot of wards. Wrong ward at first and replacing with that Vision Ward. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a little rough. But if they want to take that red buff, they do have to get that control.
They do.
And that's one of the strengths of Nunu right now, of course, on this patch, and actually on 3.9 when it comes out as well.
I believe
Consume will still be stronger than level 1 Smite.
I believe the Observer was showing us, too, that one of those wards was an Explorer ward, too. So
yes.
That's the free one you get from Masteries, so say okay.
Even so, it's not an ideal use of resources, but Nofe going to go ahead and get that red buff in the end, and we'll have to see if paying that price was worth it, considering that Chunyang immediately rotating up to the red buff of Najin.
He's not afraid. He'll pay the iron price.
And interestingly, right now, we do have that 2v1 in the mid lane against Rise, so they're confident in their 1v1 lane with Zed at top, and then the 1v2 with this Vladimir.
Okay.
And you can see right there, Save going and checking on the blue to make sure he knows where Chunyang is, and of course they find him now with that sonic wave. So Nofe just going to go ahead and clear out, or not going to clear out his lizards. That's an interesting choice. Instead, he sees that they may be going for this blue buff, so he just makes a beeline over to the blue. They're trying to catch him. They do have...
They get a hook on the Flom. They're going to come in. Can they get a kill on this? Nofe coming in with the snowball onto Fiddlesticks. Chunyang trying to get away. He was exhausted. Safeguarding over to Rise. Can he escape? No! First blood goes to Save. And they punished that hard, man, but that clutch snowball for Nofe, that really helped out.
And that right there is exactly why Fiddle is so weak to hooks. He has not a lot of HP. He is squishy in that early game, as we were talking about before the match. And they really used it to the maximum advantage right there. And a great collapse by Najin Shield to read the movements of Chunyang.
He's like a scarecrow made of balsa wood. He's not very sturdy. That was a joke about the sturdiness of balsa wood, Monte Cristo.
But incredibly
didn't work out.
Lightweight, and he can,
I know.
He can fly. That's why he's so good at crow storming.
Little kids in school make tiny airplanes out of him. It's fun.
Okay, so this bot lane's still not going particularly well for save right now, but Easy Hoon having similar difficulties in his 1v2.
Getting that kill in the first blood will certainly help make up for the CS that he may have lost a little bit early on.
You know, I really like this 2v1 in mid 2 because Easy Hoon opted for that Sapphire Crystal start, so he doesn't have a lot of sustain. Yeah. He was expecting the dueling lane where that Sapphire Crystal would have enabled him to win any kind of 1v1 confrontation early, but as it stands right now, it's actually forcing Chunyang to come to mid lane just because he has to make sure that Easy Hoon can actually hold this so their turret doesn't go down fast, or they don't, you know, I don't think they're going to dive a rise, but we'll have to see. As I was saying, Najin Shield really been preferring to hold out in terms of lanes.
Oh, Chunyang gets
nice
before
play.
He can, yeah.
Oh,
they grab him with the death sentence. Man, Gorilla's just looking good. No Faye coming in, but can't quite get in range for a snowball. Got to be careful, man. That was some really impressive reaction time, though, for Gorilla to flay before the safeguard after Chunyang came in.
Yeah, absolutely. So, however, the problem is that this turret in bot lane is going down faster than the one in mid lane. So, Najin Shield really has to do work right here. And you'll see Nofei, he's not really too concerned about this bot lane right now. They got the first blood. They got it on to save. So he does have that extra gold. And honestly, losing that first turret isn't going to be the worst thing in the world because they really have a lot of ramp-up time here, at least with Vladimir. Yeah. Now, for the composition for Najin Shield, you know, Goong is going to be free to start roaming maybe about 5 minutes. He's going to need to grab some more attack damage, grab a Brutalizer, and then he's going to be in a very good shape to roam and assassinate, and they can just freeze the lane with Vladimir and wait for that late-game power spike. You know, the compositions here, we have two teams that can both 3-1-1 split. We've got Ryze and Kennen as split pushers for MVP Blue, and we have Vladimir and Zed as split pushers for Najin Shield.
Chunyang lurking in that brush, waiting for a chance to go in on Goong. Goong, though, playing it safe. And you can farm pretty safely with Zed, too. That Q has a long range. You can get in there and finish off minions with your E pretty easily. So he's going to be in good shape. Meanwhile, this mid lane getting pushed a bit. Hoon under a little bit of pressure. Oh, the death sentence barely misses. Gorilla, he is just on with those Qs today. Oh yeah, and look how good of a job Hoon has been doing in this mid lane too. He's only using his second pot now, which is pretty darn good for a Sapphire Crystal start in order to hold the lane better than Vladimir and with so few sustain items. Well, Gorilla's been grabbing some people, but it hasn't been Hoon. Easy Hoon, rather.
Now they've relented a little bit on the pressure in this bot lane. We do see that.
Oh, Gorilla gets frozen up a little bit. Chunyang coming in. Gorilla tries to make it away. The Ignite's down at him. Oh, here comes Kennen in with the ultimate. They do secure the kill onto Gorilla. A nice gank.
You know,
a lot of people coming down for that one.
This really shows how much these teams have been playing each other recently. This, if you guys saw those AMD Inven games, that's actually something that Najin Shield would do. And I feel like MVP Blue kind of using their own strategies recently against them in this game, which is quite interesting because that kind of roaming has been exactly Najin Shield's playbook recently.
That's interesting. And I mean, with such a unique style too for Shield, maybe not something they're really practiced against themselves.
Yes. I have to say that's probably true. And look at that, Nofei going to go ahead and grab the blue steal.
Yep. Gets out of there with no trouble at all. Chunyang, he's going to be very disappointed. Oh, wah-wah.
That's right. The sad trombone for Chunyang there, and an even sadder trombone for Easy Hoon.
Yeah.
Not going to be getting that blue buff.
Saddest trombone at all. Oh, bot turret goes down in favor of MVP Blue.
Yeah, this is to be expected.
Yeah.
It's clear that Najin Shield is comfortable with this exchange right now because they haven't been really over-pressing. They've been very cautiously farming.
Hoon is like the fastest person without boots I've ever seen, man. His non-boots dodging is just stuff of legends this game.
Yeah, there's a reason why a lot of people consider him one of the best mid lanes in Korea.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you play Cinder as much as he does too, you need to be very, very good at moving around without any sort of abilities to augment you.
Absolutely.
So it's not a big surprise seeing him do that on Ryze.
So Najin Shield, in addition to their split pushing prowess, as we were talking about earlier, they've got a great team fight. I mean, both teams have great team fights and great split pushing. What we're seeing are two very good comps right here.
Yeah.
They have a lot of options in terms of tactics. They're very evenly matched in terms of both their potential for split pushing and their potential for team fighting.
Well, the team fights have the potential to be very kind of spread out and messy, I think. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, and they both have some good, solid potential for picks thanks to their support. Of course, Flom kind of has to all in it a little bit more because he's going to be more flash reliant for Flash Fear to create a pick, where we do have Thresh, excuse me, who just using a more normal ability with Death Sentence in order to set that up.
And then into the box.
And then into the box they go.
Yep. All right, well, Flom coming down to the bot lane now. Start doing a little bit more farming there. And teams thinking a little bit about Dragon, but it's still a little early for that.
Now, as we move into the late game, we're going to see a little bit of divergence in terms of power. So MVP Blue, they're going to have a better split pushing team, because as Ryze and Kennen get more armor, if Ryze opts to go for that Glacial Shroud, and we already see Chunju going for that Seeker's Arm Guard, they're going to be more immune to Zed all-ins. And at that point, conversely, Najin Shield with a Blood Boil Twitch ulting is going to have a lot more power in terms of team fights. So depending, if this game starts to get even and we're looking at the 25-minute mark, 30-minute mark or so, Najin Shield is going to really want a team fight and skirmish and get a Hemo Plague and pick somebody off with Zed, and MVP Blue is going to want a split push.
Yeah. Let's see if they let him get that far. I mean, it's interesting because we see this MVP Blue team that traditionally has been very aggressive, wanting to get a lot of kills in lane, and they just have not done it a lot yet this game. Deft and Flom have had to just kind of sit back and just do some CSing.
And another thing to look out for here, wow, Chunju getting very low.
Yeah.
Off of the Hemo Plague Ignite, dropped by Save right there. No Fade coming in.
Slicing Maelstrom gets a stun, and he's going to get away. That was a close call. He was like one snowball away from death. And it looks like, yeah, True Shot Barrage going to help zone him out a little bit.
Yeah, one thing to watch here on EasyHoon is that he had to stay in lane for so long that he actually had a pretty late tier this game. So he's going to be a little delayed in his power spike.
That's a good point, yeah.
And his tier stacking. And there's the Dragon trade for top turret. No surprise there, and everything will stay just about even.
Yeah, a lot of teams opting to go ahead and trade that and say, all right, well, that's fine. We can get Dragon. You can have top turret. A lot of these teams, you know, especially on champions like Kennen, I mean, we've seen Blaze do that, you know, just farm in that top lane after the top turret goes down. I think we're going to see a little bit of sixth man in this game.
We'll see. Like I said, we're in a really interesting situation here where it looks like both teams are committing to that long game. And like I said, what that means is that Najin Shield is going to want a team fight with their comp. I mean, they can split push, but at a certain point, MVP Blue is just going to do it better. And of course, MVP Blue can team fight, but at a certain point, with a good Hemo Plague, with a Blood Boil Twitch using Spray and Pray, there's going to be a point where Najin is really going to be putting out a lot more damage.
I always thought it looked like Twitch was carrying around a tambourine. See that?
It really does.
It looks like he's about to
looking.
Sing in a folk band or something, you know?
The Twitch family band.
That's right. He's singing about Scarborough Fair and all that, you know?
Well, someday it can happen.
I guess so.
Another skin idea.
We need like an alternate band to Pentakill, right? As far as the skins go.
Chunju just bought a second Seeker's Arm Guard.
He did.
Okay.
Huh.
That should be a mistake.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there any reason you would ever want a second Seeker's Arm Guard?
No. And the problem is, too, is that's going to make him really vulnerable to split pushing by Save. Because he's going to feel very confident about going against Gung, but when it comes to dealing with Save in a 1v1 all-in situation, that's going to put him... That's not a good situation at all.
It's going to be awkward, no doubt about it. Looks like they're going to go ahead and take this blue buff before No Fake comes in and eats it yet again.
Critically, though, they are keeping it off of EasyHoon. EasyHoon now split pushing in that bot lane.
Yeah. You know, in Korea, when they talk about buffs, the Korean players will actually describe it as eating it. They use mokda, which is a verb to eat. So in Korea, when you're talking about taking buffs, usually you always say eat the buff.
Or dragon, too.
You eat dragon, you eat Baron, yeah. It's a lot of very hungry pro gamers in Korea, guys.
League of Legends is just a buffet to them.
I don't know. I would not want to eat Baron. I mean, looks like the meat would be kind of slimy, a little bit stringy maybe.
Maybe it's delicious like squid.
Maybe. Oh, that could be. It's like giant calamari. Okay, now I might. Now I'm actually interested in eating Baron. I'm gonna have to try that.
I hear the neck mouth is the most delicious part.
It's really the lips of the neck mouths that are
the softest,
the most tender meat. And those are huge too, so you can like, they're like the size of like a whole rack of ribs, but really they're just Baron neck mouth lips.
Well, our observer's showing this double arm guard right now. I mean,
yeah.
Kennen has 2 arms, so I guess that's a legitimate purchase.
You know, it's really responsible of him to actually guard both arms rather than just one. I feel like that's a good example for everyone to follow. Oh, save! Oh no, the Q misses. Oh, and they even had True Shot Barrage coming up too. Oh man.
I mean, Save probably wasn't going to die there considering he had Flash and Pool.
Probably not, but still. That's a little bit embarrassing. Point blank Q missed. Chenyang, he wants to hit it. There we go. He's like, yes, I can hit my Q.
I mean, this is exactly the kind of game that we'd expect to see from these teams. They're very evenly matched in terms of skill. Both of them are trying to ramp up. They've got champions that have a significant ramp-up time. And so it's just going to be a lot of rotations and a lot of lane play.
Yeah, makes for a little bit more passive of a game, although I'm hoping that by saying that, I'll immediately be proved wrong by a bunch of team fighting. But
you can see how well Save, you can see how well Save is going to be able to do against Kennen in this top lane now, thanks to double arm guard.
Oh, here we go, slicing Maelstrom onto Save. They do manage to lock him down a bit. No Fei there, there's a flash from Save. Can they finish him off? Yes, they can. Another kill for Save. No Fei mixing up with Chenyang. Chenyang uses ult to kick him away, safeguard. Over to that ward, and will he make it? Gorilla flashes for the death sentence. He lands it, and that is going to be another kill. Save, picking up both of those killing blows.
Those 2 arm guards were a huge problem right there. That may actually really change the course of this game because they're giving more free farm into top lane.
He's just not as durable with that.
No.
It doesn't do as much damage.
No,
he can't
exactly. Well, yeah, he's not as durable, and we have all the spell vamp coming out of Vladimir with that Spirit of the Spectral Wraith early on.
Yeah.
And that could have made all the difference in that duel right there. Of course, we did see Chunju going in. It was a call by the team because Chenyang was there as well, but when No Fei was backing him up, there just wasn't a lot that MVP Blue could do about that.
Yeah.
They don't lose any objectives for it yet.
Right.
But that's a 3rd kill on to Save, as he's about 700 gold, as we can see, ahead of his lane opponent right now. Didn't end up actually being his lane opponent in this game, but for all intents and purposes, and now he's moving on to that needlessly large
No Fei
rod.
meets up with Chenyang in the jungle. Easyun locks him down with the Rune Prison. Looks like they're going to disengage, though they don't want to fight that just yet. Meanwhile, there is a little bit of pressure. Deft going in on Zepho a little bit.
All right, he sold his arm guard, so he realized that he had those 2 items. Getting some flat HP instead, that'll be much more helpful, but still, that's a delay to his build. And going for Haunting Guys now, he's going to find himself just so far behind.
It's a lot of gold just lost. I mean, essentially, it's the same as if he was just a lot down on CS right now. Nice Lantern play from Gorilla to get No Fei out of there. It's tough to pull a giant Yeti across a chasm with a Lantern, too, so... But Gorilla's got the strength, man.
He does, living up to his name.
That's right.
All right, so pink ward down. Both teams have the timer. We could see a 5v5 here, and a 5v5 at this point is really going to favor Najin Shield.
Yeah, we'll see if they go in on it. There's a Lantern. They're going to check out the Dragon Pit. There it is, True Shot Barrage coming out. They do manage to take Dragon. No fight, so both teams just playing passively. I feel like with the kind of rough early game that Blues had, they're not really as confident in their... Oh, I don't know.
I really like that decision-making from Najin Shield, actually.
Well, they went for mid-turret, I guess.
Yeah, they went for mid-turret instead. They got some damage onto it from that 2v1 in mid
they grab Easyhoon. The Flay, though, doesn't quite connect.
Yeah, Najin Shield still not feeling too confident about their ability to team fight yet.
I'm a little bit surprised.
As soon as they get Zhonya's onto Vladimir, they should be good to go.
You know, I feel like overall we're seeing teams play more cautiously this season, and Vlam is going to get caught. Oh, he gets the damage down on him. And it's not quite enough to finish him off, but it is enough to force him a little bit out of that fight. And the
Gorilla
positional
had been there, that would have been an entirely different story. Nove gets caught out of position right there and absolutely blown up. Kicked back by Chunyang.
Unfortunately, that lantern not there quite in time. Oh well.
Yeah, that was a pretty big positional error by Nove, but I don't think MVP Blue's really going to be able to take advantage of it before he gets back up and gets back into lane.
Yeah.
But you can see how well Najin's shield plays cautiously here. I like their trading that mid lane turret. They don't get into the fight. They wait and see if anybody's going to get out of position. They didn't see the opening they wanted, so they just rotate to mid, take down the turret.
Well, they know too is that they don't necessarily need to fight right now. They know they're going to be the stronger team in the late game, and one way to make sure that happens is by not losing close fights in the mid game.
Not to mention that in any kind of pick situation, because they have Zed, they are going to output a lot more burst damage.
Right.
Of course, Ryze really more about DPS over time, and so that's going to be the major difference here, is that a pick will end almost instantly with a death mark.
Yeah. MVP Blue pushing up this mid lane turret a little bit more. The split push has begun now for Goon in that top lane. He's going to recall now, but that threat is starting to kind of be there. Right now, Blue just doing everything they can to kind of push Najin's shield off of that turret.
This is an amazingly tight game from both teams. I mean, we've seen very few mistakes, good cautious play, excellent trading of objectives, and map movement overall. You know, we've seen a few errors, Nove getting out of position, you know, here and there, but these teams both showing that they are of the highest caliber here, making very few mistakes.
And I mean, that's important in these group stages too. There's not as many games per group as there were in the previous seasons of Champions too. Chunyang, he's gonna jump onto Goong. Lightning Rush coming in for Chunju.
Oh, he kicked him the wrong way. Goong flashing over the top, and the R hitting him to safety. It was a nice move by Chunyang, but just the reflexes from Goong there.
Yeah, good reaction to get behind him to make sure that if that kick came down, it was gonna send him the way that Zed wanted to go.
Very nice play.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. That is like this game in a nutshell. We have a good gank coming in, very well set up, should have worked, and then we just have a small counterplay by the other team that proves just as good. And so we end up at this kind of stalemate that we have right now.
Very cool stuff. Nove moving back into Riven right now. And oh, Chunju dueling a little bit with Goong in the top lane. They both break off at fairly low health. Neither one wanting to kind of go for it. Deathmark was used though. Both ults really were used in that.
Yep, and Hoon has been getting quite a bit of free farm here in this bottom lane. Kind of been an anchor down there so far. Deft throwing out his Qs left and right, getting those mystic shots down in mid lane, but it's just a war of attrition right now in an extremely close game.
Yeah. You know, with as active as Goong's been in terms of being involved in fights and things, his CS is looking really good. Close death sentence there.
Yeah, well, it's what we're seeing here is what we thought we'd see, a 3-1-1 split push for the most part.
Yeah.
From both teams.
A lot of members grouped up mid now.
Now, Save has his Hourglass, so I really feel this is a good time potentially for Najin Shield to go in. If they can land a death sentence, they should be able to win a fight.
We'll see if they do it. Definitely be a little bit better to wait until Goong gets there because of the amount of damage he's going to put out, but he's there now. But everything's kind of dispersed at this point, so back to just a little bit more passive play in this game so far.
Look at the ward coverage from both teams, too. Each team, oh, and right as I say it, of course, the Observer showing us on the minimap, both teams doing a very good job of warding up the possible routes of their opponents and staying safe right here. You can see that in the bottom lane, Chunju perfectly safe with that vision ward.
Yep.
And the aggression in mid lane by EasyHoon tempered by how many vision wards they have in that lower jungle. So they've got a really good idea of what's going on. And likewise, Najin Shield preventing any trespassing through their jungle, so they will be able to see deep into their lanes and maintain control that way, make sure that they can keep on farming up.
Yeah. And so we might see a little bit of action in the mid lane, some people grouping up there. That's going to be possibly the next point of contention. We'll see. Flom.
He wants to Crow Storm.
He does. He wants it so bad. It's like I haven't gotten to do it yet this game.
I mean, Najin Sword deserves to lose a team fight if they're going to walk into a location where Fiddlesticks can Crow Storm them. They see him right now.
Yep, that's
so they're
true.
trying to get into this brush with the Oracle. They will be able to take it out, but another Dragon attempt by MVP Blue.
Yeah, we'll see if they decide to go for it all the way or if they're just going to try to bait that team fight. I don't know. Okay, they're going for Dragon, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot, actually, that Shield is interested in doing to stop this.
Flom used his death sentence to try and catch Deft instead of actually using it to pick someone off in that team fight. So
yeah,
there wasn't a good engage for them, and so they had to back off. That's the thing about Najin Shield's composition is that you really want to get that death sentence as the engage. You can flash in with Vladimir, and then just Hemoplay pool immediately to slow everybody, but you have to hope they're pretty clumped up in that regard.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't really have very reliable engages from either team because Kendon's is like a follow-up engage, really.
Oh, they're going to go on to save, though. Can they get a kill on him? He's done so well this game. There's a Hemoplague, but it's not quite enough. And a gank him in the top lane. Finally, Blue catching Save, who's been so good this game. Already has his Zonias, too, but electing not to use it right there.
Yeah, I fear, however, that... Oh, here comes the ambush coming in onto Deft.
Oh, Deft in such big trouble. Gorilla and Zephyr coming in, and they're going to knock Chunju back in the box. Oh, wow, he actually gets him. Deft may be able to finish Gorilla off, too. It looks like he will. Oh, it's so close, but there's a missing shot for the double kill for Deft. A great counterplay by MVP Blue. Those were some nice moves by Deft.
Well, here's the thing. Deft in that 2v1 in bot lane managed to get a very early tier.
Oh, here comes Nofe, though. Can they catch him as well? No, doesn't quite.
He got a very early tier, which means a very early Muramana, so he's on a huge power spike right now, as we can see with the Blade of the Ruined King as well. Got to be very careful, and Deft, this is where the split push for MVP Blue really starts to kick in.
Yeah.
Najin Shield does have the stronger teamfight composition in theory.
Man, just endless poke too from Deft. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, and this is it. If we're dealing with a 3-1-1 split push right now, Nofe taking a parting jab from Deft right there.
He's
Save comes back.
Save. Now he's going to take some damage from Save. It's not going to be quite the same as fighting a jungle Nunu, but he's going to keep poking. He has no mana though, so at some point he'll need to go back here, and yeah, now he's going.
So Najin, again, Najin Shield, this is the time where they've got a team fight. They've got to use that Vladimir Twitch combo to the utmost because there's just going to be the split push pressure for MVP Blue is starting to get a little bit out of control. Chunju has that Zonias. He should be able to take on Zed 1v1. Rise will be in a similar boat soon.
Yep.
If he gets that Glacial Shroud next, we'll have to see.
Oh, Hoon and Gong fighting it out. Goon's in to take that one, but Ignite ticking ever lower. Looks like it's barely not enough to finish him off.
And look at that. Look how close that was, even though there was no armor yet.
Oh, true shot barrage. Oh, so close. Here comes Chunju, though. Oh, he gets him with the Shurikens. Nofe on the run now. Chunju trying to do some damage. Get a little bit of revenge. Not quite able to do it, but he did pick off Goon.
So right there, that just shows how close MVP Blue is to winning split pushing duels here across the board. They are getting very scary. And Deft going to be able to put a lot more pressure on as an AD carry than Twitch at this point.
Yep.
So Shield has to have a plan now. They have to get a pick. They have to get vision control. They have to get a team fight.
You know, is this a situation where you may want to try to force a Baron fight?
It's really dangerous, though, because of Crow Storm.
Oh, that's very true, yeah. I mean...
And Rise.
Yeah.
And Kennen.
All right, so that's a terrible idea. Never mind.
Well, if you just get caught in the or in the Baron pit, it could be devastating.
Right. I mean, slicing Maelstrom, Crow Storm, everything else.
I mean, it probably would end up as kind of like a 4-for-4, something like that, some sort of mutual massacre, but...
Right. But they're going to be happier just taking this mid turret if they can.
Yeah,
putting a little bit of damage onto that. Oh, save. And there's a flash snowball from Nofe.
I want to point out. Oh, here we go.
They're coming in. That's it. There's the Crow Storm. Flum's been waiting all game for this. Oh, it didn't quite work out though, but here's the emo play coming in. Save trying to do some damage. Gorilla flank Chunju back. There's the Zonia's Goong in the back lines, doing a lot of damage. A double kill for Zephyr. And somehow everybody from Najin White Shield makes it out.
And that was exactly the kind of team fight that Najin Shield needed to get back into this game. They realized they had to force something. Save did a great job of waiting out the exhaust right there before he put the Hemo Plague down. They've got some good shots over the top from Zephyr with spray and pray. Excellent job overall. And we saw immediately after that duel in the bot lane, we did see EasyHoon immediately go back and just purchase the Glacial Shroud outright. So at this point, we're now at that 30-minute mark where this is where everything is going to change. Shield needs those team fights. MVP Blue needs to split push. They can win the duel. Zed is going to be less of a threat now.
Yeah.
It's that time of the game, and this is how it's going to go back and forth. It's going to be, at this point, who gets their way with the tactical edge in this game. And even so, even under these conditions, the wrong kind of engage, even though Najin Shield has theoretically the better team fighting team, they could still lose a team fight.
Oh, yeah,
and just like MVP Blue, if they get caught in a split pushing lane without an ult up or something like that, they can lose a duel. So both of these teams just having very slight weaknesses to split push or to team fighting right now, but they can still win either way. So it's a very, very delicate game. This game has got me so psyched, though. I really enjoy it.
It's definitely one of the closer games we've seen all season.
It's a really good game.
And Dragon will be back soon. I think they can feel it. They can feel it in their League of Legends bones.
Okay, so will we have any kind of contestation here at the Dragon? We've got ults up for... We don't have Crow Storm up, so Blue may decide not to.
Chunju, I'm thinking about coming in. He's going to go ahead, put on Blue, but nope. It's going to be a quick Dragon for Najin Shield.
Yeah, no Crow Storm was a big part of that.
Yeah. It's up now.
Yeah, but that was a really good timing window for Najin Shield just to get a little bit of an advantage there. They have a hard time holding this turret against the poke, though, unless they go all in.
Well, we'll see. Gorilla looking for an opportunity to death sentence, but just taking some damage instead.
Yeah, they're just going to get poked by Blue Ezreal forever here, though, and Kennen.
His damage is so high right now, too. We'll see. Nofe had a good engage with the Flash Snowball last time, but no Flash available. This situation. And that turret's just going to go down. There's no way they can save it. Yep, there it goes.
You'll notice, too, that they're repeatedly giving Blue buff to Deft this game just so he can spam his abilities with Muramana on the whole time to maximize his poke damage, because they know they can out-poke.
Yeah.
They know. And they also know that Shield has a hard time engaging. Oh, they're going to see it.
Coming in from behind.
Ooh, he can't go in.
He's got to be careful.
You'll notice EasyHoon and Flom were right in the front right there because they've got the targeted CC abilities that'll be able to deal with that easiest. They wouldn't have, like, Goong right there would have not stood a second, like, at all. He would have gotten hit by Rune Prison and Fear and just been eliminated immediately.
Yep. Turning around, though, before anything happens. And now this push on the tier 2 turret. Here we go. Poison coming in. They put a lot of damage onto Deft. Is this enough? There's the flash slicing. Maelstrom going on to Goong. They take him out very quickly. Shield in trouble now. The kickback. They kick Vlad and the rest of the team. Gorilla trying to use his box to zone. Is it going to be up? There's the Q from Chunyang. Is he going to jump in? Not quite. A kill from EasyHoon. So 1 for 2 in favor of Blue. Goong went down so fast.
That's the issue with the targeted engage, is that Goong engaged at the wrong angle right there, and he just got focused down by 3 members. He can't do that. He actually has to follow up. He can't. I mean, it was sort of a follow-up, but it was a super awkward engage with actually Zephyr trying to use poison to start, which is not how you want to engage that fight.
He tried to move like a Zealot, but ended up looking like a Dragoon.
That's right.
And Nofe, wow, just wandering way too close to MVP Blue, taking a lot of damage. And there's the execute from Lee Sin. Some more action going on. Another kill for Blue. Gorilla in trouble as well. Oh, man, Blue just absolutely stomping Shield at their own inhibitor turret.
But look at this, they're not even going to go for that inhib. They do see Goong back up, and they don't want to give him a bunch of easy kills right there.
Yeah, Zed can clean up a low health team fairly quickly, so you got to be careful with that one.
Absolutely. So save back out now. He will be able to save this turret, probably.
Yeah, maybe, probably. Well, if he wants to. There we go, yeah.
All right, let's take a look at this replay actually again right here. So look at how awkward this engage is. They do catch Deft out, but Gung, basically this is not a well-timed engage because the Gung's engage does absolutely nothing right here. He's focused down so quickly. His Death Mark does virtually nothing to Easy Hoon. Yeah. The rest of his team was still running up the lane right there. That's exactly how you do not want to engage.
Well, there we go, and here's a Baron now for MVP Blue, and they're taking it no problem. An easy Baron. And suddenly, this game really starting to swing into the favor of Blue. They've got the turret advantage, they've got the kill, they've got the gold advantage as well.
Also, you just really don't want to Death Mark Frozen Heart Rise. You really need to get that Death Mark down on Deft. He's the only truly viable target anymore.
Right.
So, poor target selection from Shield. Kind of sloppy engage. I mean, even those, if you're doing a flank or a pincer engage like that in League of Legends, even just being slightly off like we saw right there will ruin your day.
Well, it's so hard to do those sort of like two-sided engagements in League of Legends. Generally, it does end up in situations like we just saw. Very few teams can pull it off.
Yeah, it's a feat most of the time. But you really wanted the follow-up engage from Gung, not the simultaneous engage. And you know, a flashbox engage may have been a little bit better. Save going in first might have been a little bit better. But that's the issue with Najin Shield's composition, is that they do have that awkward engage.
Yep. Well, Blue coming in now with a Baron buff. Very, very strong stuff. And will they get this inhibitor? We'll see. Nice spread from Najin Shield. They don't want to get caught by that slicing Maelstrom. Oh, they do get Chunju. Here we go. Living Shadow coming in, but no follow-up from Gung.
They're just going to get poked forever like this.
I know, they need to do something. Oh, no, Faye, that's not something they need to do. Looking for that opportunity to get that snowball, and nope. There goes the inhibitor, and Blue just going to pull away. Play safe. That True Shot Barrage not doing a whole lot.
Deft.
Oh, man.
I was about to say, Deft has been a hero this game, except for that True Shot Barrage, but his positioning has been so good, and he doesn't really have a big score, but you can see in his creep score and the way that he's created these huge zones that he's just been having an absolutely fantastic game.
Yeah.
He's the reason why the turrets have been dropping for MVP Blue. And of course, he had that insane play up in the top lane too.
Yep. All right, well, Najin Shield trying to take this opportunity to move back out on the map, take a little bit more map control back from their opponents. And although they are down a bit in gold right now, we're far enough into the game where that doesn't really count a whole lot. So if Shield, I mean, do you think right now, given the situation, they still want to try to team fight, or do you begin to look for picks with Thresh?
Well, you could, but I feel like they'd have to get very lucky given the ward coverage right now from MVP Blue. And there we go.
Oh, wow. Well, there we go. That made up for it. That made up for the last True Shot Barrage.
No Fake got that blue.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay. I saw the blue in Ezreal, but
it was his own blue. But I think that MVP Blue's blue strategy this game with blue Ezreal and the blue buff has been extremely, extremely good for them.
They've even got Rise. I mean, they're full blue man group right now.
That's so true.
This is about as blue as you can get.
Without Evelyn, I suppose.
That's right. That's true, yeah. We're missing Evelyn, but other than that, they're blue.
Bada bee, bada bye.
I'm glad we were both on the same page with that one. That's very reassuring. Thank you. Oh, the Death Sentence onto Chunju. A little bit of damage on him. Oh, a lot of damage on him. Make that Ignite up as well. Oh, man. A close call for some of the members of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is not looking good for their inhibitor.
No, I think that this is pretty much over right now. MVP Blue has the poking advantage. They have the counter engage.
Got more pokes than the entire Facebook website.
That's right. And they're all coming out of Deft.
That's right.
But really a nice game from Blue. It's going to be very difficult for Najin Shield to come back. At the, Zed just kind of falls off after a certain point when the enemy team has Frozen Heart and Zhonya's, and there's not a lot you can do about that because he's just going to be dodging death marks, and good luck getting onto Deft at this point.
Yep. I mean, it's difficult to get onto Ezreal to begin with, you know?
Well, it's even harder to get onto Ezreal when you have no hard CC on your team to lock him down.
That's very, very true.
They pretty much have to hope for the world's
World's greatest death sentence, basically. And there's one on Chunyang. They're going to catch him. There's the box as well. Oh, he does get away. A safeguard Ezreal. Here comes, oh, the Crow Storm. Oh, not working out. This may be Najin Shield's opportunity. There's absolute zero. Def trying to get away. Can he do the damage? A lot coming in from him. That's a flash from Def. Trying to go for, oh, he gets death sentence. Nice move from Gorilla. And they're going to get away. They're going to lose that inhibitor. It's just not enough. A great fight from Najin Shield, but they just weren't able to do enough.
This has been a really good game from MVP Blue. It's so impressive to see them operate this team composition, know what they're good at what time, and not
very
quite.
Close.
Know what they can do at any given time, play so patiently, and just clear out the win eventually. So, I mean, they've done quite well.
Ezreal with the pom-poms now. He's like, go team.
So I really, really admire MVP Blue for knowing when they would have the power in this game, knowing that they would have the siege advantage, and then not giving Najin Shield any chance to engage.
Yeah.
And I think Najin Shield is really kind of sad they don't have any engage at the moment.
It's a bit of a problem. Oh, Goong, a bit of a problem for him as well. He finally gets that death mark onto Deft. Hey, he got a death mark onto Deft, just like he's always wanted in this game.
It's too late. He's got Iceborne Gauntlet now. He has QSS as well. So really, there's absolutely they actually catch EasyHoon here. A good absolute zero, but just look at the damage coming out of MVP Blue. Look at Deft. He doesn't even care anymore.
No.
He's just standing there, just absolutely destroying everybody. He knows nobody can catch him. He knows nobody can hurt him.
He's like, well,
he's got so much. He's got so much sustain. He's got Iceborne Gauntlet. There's, once the damage, the AP damage from save is gone, he literally can't be hurt.
Yeah.
Like, his positioning there was very bold.
He's a bold guy, and here we go. I mean, 2 inhibitors down. Huge minion wave coming in. MVP Blue with all their damage. Gorilla in a bit of trouble there. They do manage, actually, to take out Chunyang, though, but the game is going to be over soon.
Well, they're pulling off. They're
trying to play it safe, which is good.
It's very smart, especially in the group stages of this tournament when you have so few games to make it out into the playoff rounds. Everyone is just so important. The difference between a 2-0 and a 1-1 is enormous. It was enormous last season too when we had 2 groups of 6, but it's even bigger now that we have 4 groups of 2.
Yeah.
You have so many fewer chances to get those precious points.
Well, Najin Shield coming down. I think we may see a Desperation Baron attempt, but there's already pings coming in from MVP Blue. They know exactly what's going on. They're going to try to do it, but I think they're going to need to disengage this pretty soon. Flom.
They're just all going to die, Doa.
In position, I think so. They're Monte Cristo, the forebringer of doom. And here we go. Chunju coming in, getting stopped a little bit, but not before he gets a double kill. And Monte Cristo, they're all going to die, Doa. Jeez.
They didn't all die. Only 2 of them.
Well, there you go. The silver lining. They didn't all die. I'm glad you're such a glasses half full kind of guy.
It's okay. They're all going to die right now in this game, in game 1.
That's good. Well, cheer up. They're all going to die. Here we go. The final Nexus turret going down. And now the Nexus. They're going to take out Save just for kicks. There he goes. Oh, with the pool, delaying the inevitable. Will he survive? Nope. He will not.
Gotta pad that KDA before you blow up the Nexus, and that'll be game 1 to MVP Blue.
GG. And that was a pretty good start for MVP Ozone's sister team. They have really done work in the offseason, looking very, very good.
And we were talking about this before the game. MVP Blue's big problem was transitioning in terms of strategy into the late game, but man, did they play that well.
They did.
Beautiful play from MVP Blue, but Najin Shield no slouch either. They did very well.
It was a close game. It really was.
Very close. But MVP Blue managed to find those weaknesses in the composition of Shield, and then they itemized it. Deft, man, what a great game from Deft. Fantastic play.
5-1-7 for him. Looking pretty unstoppable.
Living up to his handle.
And Shield looking a bit perplexed after that game. Nofe wondering right there.
It's like,
what do we need to do?
I wish I would have played Zach.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Actually, him playing Zach would have made a huge difference in that game.
I agree completely. I mean, the engage would have been, well, not just better, but there, you know?
Exactly.
That would have helped a lot. So, guys, one more game coming up for these two teams. Will Shield be able to tie it up? Don't go anywhere. We'll find out right after this break on OGN Champion Summer with Don Monte Cristo. Do not go anywhere.
Najin White Shield. MVP Blue. Hot 6 League of Legends Champion Summer 2013. Round of 16. Today's matchup, Group C, SK Telecom